The third season of The White Lotus, an American satirical comedy drama anthology television series, premiered on HBO on February 16, 2025. The season was greenlit in November 2022 and filmed in Bangkok, Phuket, and Ko Samui from February to August 2024. Series creator Mike White wrote and directed all 8 episodes. The season features an ensemble cast: Leslie Bibb, Carrie Coon, Walton Goggins, Sarah Catherine Hook, Jason Isaacs, Lalisa Manabal, Michelle Monaghan, Sam Nivola, Lek Patravadi, Parker Posey, Patrick Schwarzenegger, Tame Tatham Thong, Amy Lou Wood, Sam Rockwell, and Scott Glenn, with Natasha Rothwell and John Grease reprising their roles from prior seasons. The series follows the lives of the staff and wealthy guests at the wellness resort in Thailand. The season received mostly positive reviews from critics, but many criticized the slow pacing and found the final episode disappointing. Following the second season finale, series creator Mike White hinted that the third season would be set in Asia and invoke a satirical and funny look at death and Eastern religion and spirituality, similar to how the first season focused on money and the second season on sex. The original list of candidate locations included Bali, Japan, Korea, the Philippines, Sri Lanka, and then Thailand. Through various discussions and research, the list was narrowed to Japan and Thailand, and then series producer Mark Kamin and White and others took research trips to both countries. On one of those trips, White contracted bronchitis and was given a steroid nebulizer. While recovering, he found himself reimagining a group of Westerners who descended on Thailand in search of a spiritual revival. The art scene in the opening credits was inspired by murals in Wat Saput, one of the temples visited by the producers. White scouted other Thailand destinations, but initially refused to visit Ko Samui. He did not have fond memories of the island because he had already stayed there twice before when he had competed on The Amazing Race, and the island was used in the show's elimination station. Since the first 2 seasons of The White Lotus had already been filmed at the Four Seasons resorts, another producer went to scout the Four Seasons resort on the island, and eventually White was persuaded to give it a chance. The third season's production was disrupted by the 2023 Writers Guild of America strike, resulting in the release being pushed to 2025. In April 2023, Natasha Rothwell was reported reprising a role of Belinda from the first season. Initially, Milos Bekovic was cast, but it was later criticized by the Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs over his alleged support for Russia's invasion of the country. Bekovic was subsequently dropped from the cast on February 2nd and replaced with Julian Kostov. Charlotte de Bond then joined the cast several weeks after shooting began to replace Francesca Corney, after it became apparent that Corney in person was quite petite and just going to play too young, according to casting director Meredith Tucker. Woody Harrelson was set to play the role of Frank, but scheduling conflicts meant he had to drop out. That part then went to Sam Rockwell and was kept unannounced until March 16, 2025, when his surprise cameo came in the 5th episode. Amy Lee Wood would later reveal that the character of Chelsea was written as American, but during her audition she was asked to use an American accent and her natural Mancunian accent, and White liked the latter so much that he rewrote Chelsea around Wood's accent. The series would receive a $4.4 million tax incentive for filming at the Four Seasons in Ko Samui, Thailand. However, the dining scenes were shot at the Rosewood, Phuket. The cast and crew worked through the night at the Rosewood to shoot together all the evening and dining scenes, and ending their workday with the group breakfast. Parts of the shoot were also shot in Bangkok. The 4 resorts which appeared in White Lotus differ significantly from their fictional counterpart in that they do not have a sandbar nearby and are also all monkey-free. However, the birds and the monitor lizards were all authentic. One of the biggest obstacles encountered by the cast and crew while filming was Thailand's scorching tropical heat. Air conditioning was too noisy to be used while cameras were rolling, so the cast had to do their best to look as if they were having a good time on vacation, but the truth was they could barely function. Being such a late addition to the cast, Sam Rockwell filmed his scenes in 1 week during a break from his shooting of the film Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die in South Africa. The island of Ko Samui, the shooting location for the third season, experienced a 65% increase in hotel bookings and reservations since the premiere of the show. The third season was the most watched of the seasons of White Lotus and averaged more than 5 million more viewers than the second season, which had averaged 15.5 million viewers. The 8th and final episode of the season was the most watched episode at 6.2 million viewers across its linear airings on HBO and a streaming viewership on Max. The season premiere would have 2.4 million viewers. Now all I can say in reviewing the season 3 of White Lotus is Mike White has done it again. White Lotus season 3 arrives with the confident elegance of a creator who knows his voice and isn't afraid to speak softly, letting the slow burn of a social satire smolder beneath stunning landscapes and exquisitely composed frames. Set in Thailand, this latest installment trades some of the urgency and high-stakes tension of his predecessors for something a bit slower, moodier, but no less impactful. This time, the White Lotus brand of luxury serves as a gilded cage for the new crop of lost souls trying to escape themselves, of course, albeit failing. These are people running from their lives they quietly loathe, traumas they refuse to confront, and secrets that refuse to stay buried. White is again writing about the first world problems with razor-sharp insight and acidic wit, and he continues to expose the disquiet beneath the affluence like few others can. Thailand is more than a backdrop, it's a breathtaking character in itself. The cinematography is jaw-droppingly beautiful, lush jungles, serene beaches, and opulent resorts juxtaposed against the psychological claustrophobia of the characters. Every frame is composed with care, allowing the audience to soak in the atmosphere, while slowly peeling back the emotional layers of the ensemble cast. Yes, this season takes time, perhaps even too much time for those expecting the punchier pace of seasons 1 or 2. The plotting is slower, more meditative, but that patience pays off. White is less interested in delivering immediate shocks and more invested in letting themes ferment. And when the emotional detonations come, they hit hard. There's a fascinating reversion at play here in White Lotus, a thematic Ouroboros which each season both reinvents and echoes to the last. A new resort, new guests, yet the same existential dread. What keeps the show fresh is the specificity of its place and increasingly rich emotional continuity across seasons. The reappearance or referencing of characters from Season 1 isn't just fan service, it deepens the world and provides a kind of bitter continuity, a suggestion that these people and the systems they live in never really change. The cast are absolutely superb in their respective roles. Leslie Bibb, Carrie Coon and Michelle McGanaghan play three friends, trying to reconnect, but soon realize they are on different paths and have different perspectives on the world that they live in. Parker Posey is a scene stealer with her sharp comedic timing and layered vulnerability, while Patrick Schwarzenegger impresses as Saxton, a rich, arrogant, self-absorbed young man who slowly but surely learns to find another side of himself. While Sam Nivola turns out a fantastic performance here as the confused and young Lockie, not to mention a career best performance here from Jason Isaacs, our financier in Jeopardy, who plays his role to absolute perfection. For me, Walton Goggins delivers one of the season's standout turns as the brooding, emotionally barricaded man haunted by his choices past. There's a stillness to his performance that speaks volumes as he slowly unravels the mask behind the gritted teeth and polite smiles, while Amy Lee Wood brings a heartbreaking earnestness and naivety as a young woman chasing love in all the wrong places. Not to mention some fun turns from the likes of Sam Rockwell and Scott Glenn, as well as some good performances from Time Tapanyanyong as Gatok and Lalisa Manabal. Also, I must compliment Natasha Rothwell here as Belinda, who adds some narrative weight to the overall story. White Lotus Season 3 may be the most mature and introspective of the series yet. It's less about who dies, and more about who's already emotionally dead and just doesn't know it. Mike White continues to be one of the most incisive storytellers working today, dissecting privilege, repression, and longing with the scalp of a satirist and the heart of a dramatist. This is the same man that created School of Rock and Atra Libre, and in many ways he's reinvented himself with the White Lotus series. In another excellent season, which may be slower, yes, but in many ways is so much deeper. A haunting, hilarious, and ultimately human portrait of people who have everything but peace of mind. The White Lotus Season 3 gets a 9 out of 10.